Good afternoon, everyone. Steve Georgia here from Allendale's trading floor. It's May 22nd. We had a very negative day today. We started off a little bit quiet. The overnight markets were down a little bit, but we ended up selling off pretty hard. July corn down 31 3/4 cents. Last trade in the electronics, which now closed at 2, down at 601. Looks like the pit was settling somewhere close to 597, so a little further setback yet. But we're back to the $6 area in July. December down about 15 3/4 cents, puts that at 524 3/4. So we broke down below some decent support there as well. On December, if we're going to continue to see some pressure, we could see that back down near $5 again, that 5 to 510 area. But today was just a very negative and emotional day. It carried right over into the beans. 31 cents lower July beans, 25 cents lower in November, and then wheat down 17. So a lot of the questions we're asking is why all of a sudden? I mean, I can't tell you how many guys today that were calling me up saying, hey, why have we broke as much as we have? You know, first off, it came out yesterday. USDA's got the good to excellent ratings in corn at 77%. It's the fifth best start in the 26 years that they have been coming out with these ratings. It's good. Even though guys are suggesting that it's too warm, too hot, too dry, too everything, we're still sitting very good is what these numbers are showing. Not only that, they were looking at being very dry for the next 2 weeks. Well, they did move some rain in the forecast. So now they've got some pretty decent rains coming in into next week. So we'll see if they materialize. You guys got to understand, right now we're in a weather market. So it started off where it's going to be too hot and maybe too dry. These markets are going to move around very quickly right now. I can't tell you how many guys today were concerned about the $6 in July for corn. Every time we've dipped down below $6, what has happened? Well, we usually get China buying. Well, there were rumors out there today that China did exactly the opposite. We saw them shift some purchase. Now, this is just a rumor. This isn't something that's been confirmed yet. But the floor was talking that China may have shifted some purchases from old crop to new crop. Okay, maybe. We haven't confirmed that yet. But we also had seen today that the Gulf basis had slipped 5 to 6 cents. So we saw that set back a little bit as well, narrow up. So that was where you got this negative vibe today. The wheat, looking at that, we did have strong overnight markets. We had seen the wheat go higher briefly, but there too, with this rain in the forecast, this wheat setting back a little bit, down 17.5 today. That got pressured. With wheat, we're 58% good to excellent, which we're down 2%. We should be declining right now as we get closer to harvest within the next few weeks. And then also spring wheat planting, we're done. And, that may find some pressure too. Since the wheat had rallied the most, we might see that try to set back a little bit right now. Also for wheat, one of the big stories that we had seen started out of Russia. Oh, it was so hot and so dry that it was on fire. That was what the story was saying, that their wheat crop was in some severe turmoil. Well, now they've got some rain moving in, 1 inch to 3 inches in areas, well-needed areas of rain. So that can be looked at as a little bit negative right now on wheat. So be careful with that. We saw a great rally for wheat. We all know wheat likes to try to kill itself off a few times. But the fact is right now we're sitting with a pretty decent crop, and now we're starting to get some rain. So be a little cautious there for wheat. Another thing today, we're seeing some funds. You saw funds liquidating or selling some long positions. There were talk out there as well that this European debt crisis is still going to be a large factor in this. So these funds that had just invested all this money into the grains, now looking to tighten up some positions. The dollar was up because of that. So the dollar up 45 cents. We know if the dollar starts rallying, we tend to see deflation. So that was another reason why we had seen some pressure today. The dollar right now sits at 81.69. Last week's high on the dollar, 81.93. We're close to those highs. So watch those highs. If we take that out, we're probably going to see another good jump, which could pressure grains again. As far as livestock, we had fat cattle that were up 40 cents today, 119.20 for June. We had box beef choice was down 8 cents, select up 68. So kind of mixed there as far as box beef. But something interesting, we had cold storage. We had a cold storage report out at 2 o'clock today. We have the largest amount of beef in storage for the month of April ever. And my question today was, why are we still up 40 cents? But right now, we may get a little setback from here. We did have a friendly report last Friday, and now we're looking at a little bit more of a negative report. So in the short term, that may end up pressuring the nearby contracts. We'll see what that has to do. But right now, cattle are still up. So we'll see if we can push through that 120 area, try to push us a little higher yet. But as of right now, we're looking at the largest cold storage or the largest amount of beef in storage that we've ever seen for the month of April. As far as the hogs, down $1.15, 85.60 for June. So we are setting back a little bit there. We did have a very strong last few weeks. We're taking some of that off right now. We may be in a little bit of trouble here for the next week to week and a half. We saw that rally the last few weeks due to good demand as we go into Memorial Day weekend. Now that demand has kind of dried up a little bit. We need to get through that at this point before we see these prices try to recover. So we might be in a little bit of we may see a little setback for hogs here over the next week to week and a half, but continue watching that. Today, though, down about $1.15 for June. I do want to let you guys know we've got a webinar tonight. So make sure you get online. Right at the top there of the website, you can register. Make sure you do register. It's at 8 o'clock p.m., so 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to have an AgriGold agronomist talking about a lot of the conditions that are out there. Also, we're going to go through, we're going to have some technical analysis for you guys as far as corn and beans. So a very good webinar. Get logged on, get registered today. That's at 8 o'clock this afternoon, and it'll be very beneficial for you guys out there. You can check that out right at online, allendale-inc.com. And always feel free to give us a call with any questions you might have, 800-262-7538. Hope you guys had a great day today. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.